Hi everybody, Alex Ployer from Expert Forex, and we ended our Forex trading competition of $30,000 this weekend, and now is a good time to look back and see why certain people did so well and what we can learn from these traders. During this competition, we traded all 14 of our currently available Forex trading robots, and let's have a look at the results that came out. Firstly, I must just remind you that there is still a 80% off on these robots that were traded in the competition. So just click on that button and you can get 80% off all of these robots. So the best EA was the grid Trend Multiplier, which generated about 320% return, and then you can look through here how the others went. That one came pretty close to 300 to just over 200, 120%, that type of thing, and so on. And you can see all of them were very nicely positive and produce pretty good results. The worst results here were a 13% return over that period. And just remember that in certain cases they were not traded for the entire period of the competition. So let's have a look at some trading examples and strategies used by these Forex traders. Now, here's the winner of the overall competition. I mean, this was the best return of all the EAs that were traded. So this was a return of 324% over 2 weeks. Now, the rules of the competition said that although this was a 9-week competition, you only needed to trade 2 weeks of that particular competition. So this trader, as you can see on the chart, identified a nice trend that started way back and is still going on, and traded that using the grid Trend Multiplier. There are a few things that I must show you that in this particular strategy that the person used is, firstly, he traded one direction only, so he took all the trades as buys, and he also applied risk control, because you can see there was an announcement type of environment that developed there. He stopped the EA from opening more trades. Now, there are various ways you can do that, and he used the settings to prevent the EA from opening more trades, and then only opened the trades after it was safe to get back into the market. What he also had, he had targets that he set for himself. So when he doubled, that was a double and a double account target. So he doubled his account at that point, and then he stopped trading. He basically said, all right, I've reached my one goal, I'm going to wait and see. And in fact, by waiting, he lost a lot of income, because that little loop would have generated him quite a bit of income. But then he started trading again and then he hit another target. So he had two targets. So he hit the second target a lot faster than the first one, you can see there, and we'll talk about why that was faster. So he hit that. He also had a temporary stop there, decided to carry on, and then went on and actually reached a winning situation at the end of the competition. So what do we learn from this? Firstly, you don't have to trade the EA continuously. You can adapt it to the market. When the danger develops, you can switch it off, or you can change your settings and not expose yourself to the dangers of it, because that little loop there could have wiped him out. Secondly, he set targets and then stopped and reevaluated the situation. What you don't see here is that he continuously increased his lot sizing as it went on, and therefore got above average gains, but at the same time managed risk very well. So that's how the 324% return was made over 2 weeks, and the kind of strategies that competitive traders use to become winners in these type of competition. Now, I must point out the settings that this trader used are irrelevant if you are going to trade this EA, because he matched the settings to the trading environment that he anticipated. And that is, so a lot of people think, oh, if I can find this guy's settings, I could become a millionaire. Not so. There's a lot more skill behind this type of trading than meets the eye. It's a bit like watching golf and Tiger Woods misses a 4-foot putt, and you think, oh well, I can hole a 4-foot putt, and you think you can be as good as he is. So just be careful watching these things. There's a lot of skill involved in this kind of trading. So let's have a look at what winners did not do. Firstly, they did not use optimized set files. Optimized set files are about the worst thing you can use. It's a bit like saying, this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 won the lotto last week, so I'm going to play that number again. Theoretically, I should win. If that's the winning number, I should win this week. So optimized set files have limited use. They're not completely useless. They supply a huge amount of information, but they should not be used as they are. Use the information that optimized set files generate and create your own settings from that. They did not trade all the time. As you saw there, this guy only traded 2 weeks of the 9 weeks of the competition, and even during that period, they did not have the EA set to generate trades all the time. Now your EA can be active, but you can have settings that prevent it from generating trades. That's very easy to do. They did not use the EA default settings. It's very similar to using set files, so they just ignored the default settings. Then they did not blame anybody for their losses. They didn't say, oh, this is a stupid EA, it's a loss-making EA. They didn't blame other people, or these settings that you supplied me are really terrible. They did not. They took, and that's the next point, they took full responsibility for their own trading. They did not delegate their responsibility. Now, a lot of people that buy EAs come to us and say, now we've bought your $150 EA, it is now your responsibility to supply us with the perfect settings that are going to make us millionaires. So they just conveniently move the responsibility for EA trading from themselves to somebody else. You cannot do that in Forex trading. You have to take full responsibility for your own trading, even when you're using a robot, even if you're using somebody else's robot. You are responsible for the profits that come out of that trading tool or any Forex trading technique. The minute you realize that is the secret, the holy grail of Forex trading, you will achieve your full potential. Firstly, they knew the EA intimately. They knew how it trades, what markets is best for it, which settings are the most sensitive settings, in other words, which are going to produce the turbo boost results, and which ones are meaningless. Even if I change those settings, they're not going to really change the results. They knew which settings would give them the highest gain, and we'll talk a bit about which settings those are, because they are generic to all EAs. And they knew, most importantly, the settings, how to manage risk, because if the market turns against you, you want to survive that event. The most important thing that competitive traders and traders that do exceptionally well in this industry is they know how to position size and manage their money. Because if you position size correctly, you are managing risk very well, and you're also managing return very well. So position sizing is the heart of Forex trading. If you have a really bad EA and you trade it and your position sizing is good, you will never blow your account. So they know when to use low lots, they know when to use high lots, and they know when to use no lots. Like that example I just showed you, the guy used low lots in the beginning, then used no lots at certain stages where he didn't want to trade, and then he used high lots when the game became serious, but not so high that it would wipe his account out. And then you must know how to use the EA. You must know which settings to use relative to the current market conditions. So for instance, if you've got an EA, you should have settings for trending markets, you should have settings for sideways markets, and you should have settings for uncertain markets. And you only use those settings when the markets show those kind of characteristics. And then Coupled to that, you must know when to use the EA. So, in other words, if your EA is a sideways market EA, in other words, it's trading retracements of the trade back into the price action, then don't trade it in a trending market. You will really get very poor results. I mean, that's common sense. If you have a trending EA that relies on a nice steady trend upwards or downwards, then don't trade it in a sideways market. It sounds so obvious, but people think that because they've got an EA, it should be able to trade in any markets. Not so. Any EA trades better in a certain type of market, and you've got to find out which market that is, and then you have to try and control your EA to only trade in those. And you know how you do that? You switch the EA off when it's not required, and you switch it on, or you even take it off your chart and put it on when you need it. EAs are basically trading tools. Now we're going to have a lot of these kind of videos looking at what the winners did and what they didn't do and why they got the exceptional results. This is a high-level overview of the mentality of Forex trading competition winners. Now in future videos we'll see some EAs where they were in fact traded for the whole period of the competition. The same settings were used for the same period on the setting. These EAs were profitable every single week during the 9-week competition. And the trader used the same settings over the whole 9 weeks, also used the same lot sizing over that period. So you can also achieve success, but it is a very special EA, and the trader knew this EA and set it up in such a way that it would produce those kind of results. In the end, it comes back to the same principles that we've already discussed. Now, I really hope I've given you some ideas about EA trading, and I've shown you how the true winners, and don't think this only happens in competitions, this happens in live trading. The real winners that are trading Forex robots are the ones that go in and out of the market and position size their trades to get the best out of the market conditions and out of their Forex robot, and they know their robots intimately. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.